Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Welcome to my channel, whether you're new or you're coming back. I appreciate having you all here and I'm excited about delivering a message today. I've got a few decks over here ready to go and I'm going to start with an oracle deck as usual. Today I picked the Alice, the Wonderland edition. So yeah, we're gonna find out what's the buzz, what's going on for the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine collective, as well as the connection at this time. And at the end, as always, I'm gonna pull some cards between the twins. Yeah, so I'll start shuffling. I'm gonna get the message for the feminine first. And while I'm doing that, just wanted to say that since I did miss a couple of days over the weekend last week where I didn't do readings because I had my friends visiting, I plan to do readings on both Saturday and Sunday this week. So tomorrow it's likely going to be a Divine Masculine update, like a more in-depth dive of what's happening right now, what are the tendencies, what to expect in the coming days. And Sunday is probably going to be more about the relationship. I might do a spread where there's like a conversation between DF and DM, or I'll just focus on the connection. We'll see what I'm guided to do. But yeah, those are my thoughts at the moment, and we'll see what happens. If you have any specific requests or ideas for the kind of information you're looking for that will be helpful to your personal journey, for your growth, for getting some clarity, let me know in the comments, please. And of course, don't forget to like the video, to subscribe to my channel, and to share it with other people who may be interested. Right, so the card for Divine Feminine is Investigate, number 7. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. Yeah, so this is actually an interesting concept. On the one hand, it's feminine in a way that it's more about like observation rather than acting. On the other hand, it's very analytical, so it has masculine energy in it as well. This is one of the perfect combinations of the two, if you wish. And yeah, I think the most important part is don't rush with conclusions, right? Whether it's actual, taking action, or it's just about you making an opinion about something. Just don't rush, don't assume too much, right? Do your homework, do your analysis to get more information. And when it comes to feelings and emotions, sometimes we get more information by observing more, right? By listening to ourselves or to other people if we're talking about someone else's feelings and emotions. But whatever it is, don't assume. Okay, we'll put it here. Let's see what we have for the masculine. Woo, that's too many. Let me do it again. These cards are pretty big and pretty thick, so it takes some physical effort to shuffle. This weekend, I'm also gonna start publishing the recordings of my podcasts. They read in spring. They are of different topics, so I will be deciding by what I feel is the most relevant for the day. I will be publishing those first, so watch out for that. There are a couple of videos, but for the most part, they are audios. So yeah, I don't think there's something wrong if it's just an audio. It's a podcast, so it's expected to be that way. And then most likely I will be creating accompanying articles on my blog on the topic, so I will be providing a link to that article as well if you want to know more, because the podcasts are half an hour long, and of course there's a little bit of back and forth because it's a dialogue, it's a conversation with the host. Also there's a little bit of like giving background or me introducing myself, so there's less time because of that as well. And yeah, and I don't think there was a single podcast where I've actually covered everything that I wanted to get covered, just because of that sort of extra time that you need for the casual conversation, let's put it that way. But I'm excited about those. I'm excited to share them with you. I used to have a playlist linked in my description box to the Spotify, but they're not there anymore, and it's actually not a bad thing because it will be a lot better to have them as part of my YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm just gonna publish them over there. All right, we have Who in the World Are You, number 19, getting to know the new you. Right, so we've been talking about transformations in the life of Divine Masculine quite a lot in the recent months or two, right? Basically, in my observation, post the 7/7 portal, it's been continuous, continuous steps forward towards something new, something more exciting, more spiritual, and more conscious, right? So this is about getting to know the new you. Actually, let me read from the book. Yeah, I got the book over here. You have a big table, you can actually fit a lot of stuff on it. Okay, let's see what we have from Alice here. Who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle. When you receive this card, you're being asked to rediscover yourself through the asking of the all-important question, who am I? As Alice so wisely says, that's the great puzzle. So many people go through life being who they think they are, who others say they are, or who they think they ought to be, when who they truly are is submerged beneath conformity, habits, stereotypes, cultural expectations, and other people's opinions, which we've seen so many times through various patterns that Divine Masculines have been recognizing in the last months or two. The divination message. A fascination with getting to know yourself again. My apologies. Growing into a new self. Define assumptions about who you are. See, again, define assumptions. See the mirroring energy with the feminine. Exploration of the self. Questioning who you have been told you are. Changing at a very deep level. The readiness to evolve and experiment to come to greater self-knowledge. Couldn't have said it better myself, although that was very similar to what I was talking about with the investigate card. But to me, like, the difference here is more, and it's an interesting kind of interesting interweaving of the masculine and the feminine, because the feminine energy in this case is focused a little bit more on observation analysis of the outside forces, events, people, activities, ideas, beliefs. And the masculines are actually, the masculine energy is focused on the internal, on the self, on self-awareness, right? More of the feminine energy, right? But together, they make the very beautiful yin-yang combination. Okay, let's get into tarot. I've got my Dreaming Way tarot today. Let's see what we have for the feminine. What's the energy of the feminine at this time? 6 of Wands, love it. What's the energy for Divine Masculine Collective? I'll pull some clarifiers, so I'll do my interpretation from there. The Hanged Man, yeah, baby. And what is the energy of the connection at this time? Three of Swords in reverse. All right. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands, sorry. Deep passion towards each other from the twins, but also deep appreciation. That's what I'm getting. Like the inspiration that you can feel in your sacral chakra that comes not just from like the physical, like you have that fuzzy feeling, but not from the actual sexual attraction at this time, especially if twins are not together, but from the spiritual foundation, from the energetic field, from the vibes of love sent to each other, and like the highest interpretation of love. It's very interesting. Please clarify 6 of Wands for DF collective energy. Okay, 6 of Cups. Please clarify the Hanged Man. Oop. Got it. The Emperor in reverse. Please clarify 3 of Swords in reverse. The Magician. Beautiful. 10 of Cups, bottom of the deck. I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to spend too much time on the 10 of Cups, but I love that rainbowy energy, and take it how it resonates for you. But to me, this is like, I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking about the Skittles commercial with, you know, with lots of colors. Just think about it as some great vibes of inspiration and excitement sent between the twins. It even looks like a flow here, right? Like imagine the twins are sending those to each other. It's like a game of rainbow. Why not? That's what I'm getting with. It's very lighthearted, very like in the moment, right? Just like, yeah, that's how I feel, and I want to send it to you. This beautiful vibe without, you know, having any strings attached to it or certain expectations, or even thinking about, you know, the family, the long term, which is what we talk about very often when we get to 10 of Cups, right? No, it's not like that. It's a 10 because it's the amount of energy, it's the beauty, it's the you know, the magnificence of this energy, the purity of this energy, that what makes it a 10. Okay, so Divine Feminines, you have 6 of Wands clarified by 6 of Cups. Yeah, and what I'm getting here is that you're finally stepping into your power of recognizing of how much value you have in this world, not just for, you know, people who are biased, who you live with or you have family ties with, or who you work with directly, right? No, you recognize and you identify. It's almost like it just came to you one day, and you have this strong understanding now of what your place is and how much of a legacy and of a difference can you make for the community in that area, right? You dive into the depths of your competency, of your knowledge, of your superpowers, which is great. That's encouraging on its own, right? Because if you recognize yourself as an expert, let's say a subject matter expert, right, that immediately puts you on that high rank spot, right, where you recognize that your knowledge and experience are worth a lot. And it goes back not just to what you've learned in this life, but also what you've learned, what you've remembered from other lifetimes. And that's what I'm getting from the 6 of Cups here. That today it's also about the past that you've covered, where you've healed a lot of things. So you recognized a lot of patterns that came into your life from other generations or other lifetimes. Generations also actually count. So if you feel like you're, and sometimes we recognize it in a more conscious way, the patterns that say our parents had or our grandparents had, and we can see them in our life, right? And it's called generational karma, and it's a lot of times it's one of the missions, one of the goals we have in this lifetime, to help clear up the karma of a particular family tree that we are becoming part of by having this incarnation. I know it's like I've studied it quite a bit. I'll probably do a lot more with it going forward, but I want to mention that, you know, I've seen so much of that topic in my own story. So, and a lot of times, so like when it comes to the physical stuff or very obvious patterns, it's like it's more obvious where it comes from. It can be a little more intricate to recognize about emotional patterns, right? And sometimes you have certain reaction to specific triggers in your life, and you, as much as you're trying to analyze, you can't really put a finger on where it comes from. Why are you reacting in this way? Because you can't think of anything in this life that made it that way, or you actually remember that you were having similar reaction when you were very little. A lot of times that means that it comes actually from the previous lifetime. So it's still it's something that you carried over with you because you haven't completed that healing process before, right? And it's just as important. It can play just as big of a role. The fact that you didn't contribute to it in a negative way in this lifetime doesn't mean that it heals just by itself, right? You still come with a baggage when you're born. As much as it seems crazy or weird, that's how it works. So this is you recognizing that you've also healed, or you've been working on certain patterns that go through lifetimes and generations. And that gives more wind in your sails, and gives you more confidence in what you are doing and what you want to do going forward with your life and with your mission, with how you can serve others, right? Because we have both sixes here, which again are about going out to the public. It's not just personal anymore, all right? You are going with it to the group, to the crowd, right? How can you present it there? How can it be of use to the group? For the masculines, we have the Hangman clarified by the Emperor in reverse. So the Hangman actually relates to the card about getting to know yourself. It's very hard to know yourself when you're constantly hustling to, to be on top of 1,000 things you have to do in a day. It's a little bit about getting to know you, but there is a good chance you won't even have time to think about it, right? To like analyze, because you're like every minute of your day is planned and you're just going somewhere trying to cover as many tasks on your to-do list as you can. The Hangman energy is actually when you do take a break, take a pause. It doesn't have to be literal. It just means that you have that space, or divine masculine, right, in this case, has the space and time to be able to reflect, to be able to see where they've been following, and I'm hearing here, they've been following the authoritative and kind of oppressing patterns, masculine patterns from the society, from previous generations, right? They've never really been thinking about it, of how destructive it could be for themselves and for people around them, that maybe there is a better way to handle things. For some, it's patterns connected with being a control freak and, wanting to have control over everything. For others, it's just about oppression and being like, my word is the last one, I'm the decision maker here. In other ways, it can even be a concept or an assumption that the masculine is the head of the house, is like the brain of the operation, so to speak, right? That they have the knowledge, like they are the person to solve, to plan, to accomplish, and to lead, right? So it's unwinding those myths that have been around for generations. Big topics for the masculines today, and part of it is like firstly them recognizing that they've been under those patterns. So look, even in the colors, we have a lot of red and orange here, which again speak of masculinity, right? The root chakra and the sacral chakra are masculine chakras, and they are red and orange respectively, right? So this is recognizing those patterns and starting to, like, just by recognizing, a lot of times we start the transmutation process into something bigger and better, to cleanse those away, so that at least they're not part of your programming, they're not immediate responses, right? So that at least that filter does not prevent you from making informed decisions, from being honest and unbiased in a specific scenario. Okay, for the connection, we have Three of Swords in reverse, clarified by the Magician. So it's actually a very interesting card here, but I'm sure it has a nice interpretation in the book as well. But I would just say that the twins in this current energies, and with that energy, that beautiful energy of Ten of Cups, that they're sending each other, they're essentially helping each other heal certain wounding, certain heartache can be connected with each other, and past events, past experiences. It can be about other aspects of life or relationships with other people that gave them heartache. And again, it could be this lifetime, it could be previous lifetimes as well. And that's opening up new potential for manifesting something big and beautiful, for connecting with the crown chakra, for being a channel, for channeling the information from above for themselves and for other people too. So it's like a completely new database that's being added to the information that they have, that they possess, in order to navigate this life. Like one of my friends used to say, back in the day, that you can compare it to computers, to the one that has internet connection to it and the one that doesn't. The computer without internet connection still can do a lot of stuff, right? It's a powerful tool, but it like vanishes in comparison to what you can actually achieve with the computer with the internet connection. You can think the same way when we have that channel to the higher power, to the divine, to our guides, right? Compared to when we don't and we just have to use our own resources in the physical. Okay, this is getting a little long, but I'm gonna pull a few messages without much of interpretation, so take it how it resonates for you today. Messages from divine masculine to divine feminine, first of all. It's a good one. I like when the pink messages come out. They're all about love, the power of love. And I think it like, to me, it immediately speaks to that 10 of Cups card that I've started with. Love me, and what do you want? The divine masculines, you know, feel a little bit of a distance today from divine feminine vibe. And that's why they hope that the love is still there on the other side. It's like, hey, are you still over there? And they're wondering what's going on. Like they don't feel that immediate kind of connection, right? Intuitively. So that's why they're wondering what's going on out there. Messages from divine feminine to divine masculine. There's nothing wrong with it, by the way, so don't take it as something negative. It just means that divine feminine like doesn't have to take on it's like with a signal, you know, when there is some sort of break of a signal and negativity on one side, and it's impacting the other side as well. And for the feminines, because a lot of times divine masculine journey has to do with kind of like going through the karmic challenges and breaking through them and fighting a lot of things, and you know, all that sort of alchemy of transformation. It can be pretty intense in the physical, so it's actually a good idea if the divine feminines can detach in that way and focus on their own, because they don't have to, because we are so much connected. If we are very much tuned in all the time, then we can pick up on those challenges, on that exhaustion or desperation as well, and that will be preventing us from accomplishing our goals or focusing on our own karmic situations, if you wish. So it's actually a good idea that we can detach like that. Usually it comes with experience, like it takes a little bit of time to be on the journey to be able to do that. For like from the feminines, wow, we have you're so very special and this love scares me. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with this message. I think it's a very nice concept to stop at. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me today, and I'll be back with more reads very, very soon. Bye.